welcome amazing agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, August 15th, 2019, and this is Mastermind call number 240. Congratulations. We had two people last week that had such good stories, and they both were nice enough to call into both the role play and the Mastermind call, so we just gave away some extra company money. We had two winners of the week. We had Scott Nance and KEVIN HERRON. They both shared their success with doing multiple deals, and Scott is brand new. I think he's only in his second month. So congratulations. As you guys know, we always have a winner of the week. Don't ever feel like you're bragging on these calls, because I promise you, your success story, there's well over 100 people on the call. You'll inspire somebody else, and you'll help somebody else be that much more successful by sharing your success. Two things I wanted to mention before we get started. You guys that are our subscribers, which are probably 95% of the people on this call, you've probably noticed in the last week or so that we started to provide you with emails. It's something that y'all have been asking for years. We were reluctant to do it until we actually finally found a way to give you pretty stunningly accurate emails. I think in most cases, it's like the phone numbers, we're giving you anywhere from 1 to several emails per person, and we are finding, our opinion anyway, the accuracy tends to be pretty good. It's like the phone numbers. If you try all three of them, there's a good chance that one of them is going to reach the intended party. Now, having said that, and you'll also notice that we're not charging for that. We kind of debated it because there is a cost to our company, but we wanted to kind of provide that as extra added value, provide value first. You guys have probably heard that somewhere before. Provide that as value to you, and hopefully you'll be that much more successful. Having said that, we just wanted to warn you, Chad, and you would probably be the best to do this. Just warn them not to abuse and get in trouble with the emails.
Yeah, so right now we're giving you one of the many emails we're able to gather.
Okay.
We're just giving you the email for the personal representative. Now, as you've probably noticed, we pull numbers for closely related people to them, so sometimes it's a spouse or a sibling. Right now we're not pushing those through. We probably will get to that point, but for right now, just so you aren't confused, you know who you're emailing. If you do see an email address, which is in 60 to 65% of the cases right now, we're seeing there is an email address for the personal representative. And we've built it. This is live right now, so if you go into My Probate Leads, it's actually a mail to link. So when you click on the email address, it'll open whatever email provider you're using, and you can send a one-to-one email. So it's built in such a way to try to keep you out of trouble, where you're not going to export a list and do 500 blind carbon copies and end up getting your email address or your domain blacklisted. So I'll just caution you, if you don't really understand how spam filters work, stick with the one-to-one emailing. So you're not getting flagged as spam and end up destroying $1 million domain on your website. Just, if you're going to email market, make sure you understand email marketing and how you can be put in the email jail if you don't use compliant practices. But it is something that's there. The other thing I want to say is we provide email addresses as additional value, not as the primary way to reach out. And I know, especially for people who are nervous about getting on the phones or, quite frankly, are weak prospectors, it's going to be tempting to email as your primary outreach. And that's just that. It's weak. And even if you're an incredible copywriter, you're going to get 20% open rates. And our mail gets nearly 100% open rates. Our phone calls are getting around 50 to 60% contact rates. So just because there are emails, be careful not to just rely on that as your primary means of marketing. It's there as an additional way to market, to give you one more arrow in the quiver. But you need to focus on direct mail and phone calls first. Email is just a great way to backfill, especially if someone's on the DNC list and you're not comfortable calling the DNC leads.
Perfect. And the other thing, before I get to my Chad, I don't know if you have any comments, but I want to give my partner a plug for Chad did a webinar that was that hit the a podcast that hit the airwaves or whatever you call it this morning for a group of 150,000 investors. And honestly, I think it's one of the best podcasts I've ever heard. And you guys may want to go there and listen to it. It's Morris, Morris, invest.com. And it's the first podcast that comes up. If you put morrisinvest.com/probate, it's going to take you back to our website. But if you just want to listen to the podcast, it's not nuts and bolts like these calls. It's more the philosophy behind what we teach and why we teach it and why it works so well. And I think for anybody who just kind of needs a shot in the arm to get on the phone and maybe get remotivated now that summer's over and we're all getting back to work, it's about a 50-minute podcast, but I highly recommend you listen to it. Chad did an awesome job with it. So that's it. Chad, anything you want to share with the group before we get to the callers?
No, I'll just add they can also, Kat went ahead and reblog that. So if you look at alltheleads.com under blog, it's the most recent post if it's easier for you to grab that there.
I should have known Kat would have done that already. Sure. Good. Yeah.
And no, I don't have anything else to add today. No, I don't have anything to add.
Excellent. Well, we have 7 in the queue, guys. Great job. Let's get to the first caller. First up is phone number ending in 1383. You're up first.
Hello, my name is Roth, and I'm new to this. I just got the email for this call last week, and I'm brand new to this as of this week.
Welcome.
So I'm trying to figure out what it is that y'all offer, and what I've done so far is I've made friends with the probate clerk in my area and sent out a couple of marketing letters to a couple of the probate attorneys in my area.
Perfect. And Walt, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm assuming that you're not a subscriber. You're just kind of here checking us out?
I guess so. I don't remember subscribing. I just got an email and I said, this looks interesting. So, I guess
okay.
I need to find out, what the memberships are and what it is. I don't know if this is the right venue, whether you should just give me a number to call or...
No, we'll be glad to answer. Yeah, it's not the right venue for that. I will have one of our salespeople there listening in call you at this phone number ending in 1383 right after the call. Is that okay?
That's fine. And then I guess I'll just listen in and learn.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And you did have kind of a specific question, I think, about probate attorneys. Did you have
no, I just
no?
started marketing with them and making friends with the probate clerk and any other ideas for marketing, because I'm assuming you're a list source for probate, and I will get that to also help out, but
100%. One of our salespeople will probably be Jordan. He'll call you right after this call. Chad, anything you want to add to that, or just have Jordan call him back?
Well, Jordan will definitely call you. If you're new to this community, I think we're the premier source for kind of information and best practices in this space. And if you haven't already, go to alltheleads.com and look under blog. There's an unbelievable amount of resources there for you to learn from. You can use the search bar in the top right of any page on the site. For example, if you want to really learn how to go after the attorneys, go to that search bar and type in attorney. And one of the most recent things we've posted was an hour-long interview with a probate attorney with 20 years experience and a real estate license. So you can hear it from the horse's mouth, like what's actually working and what's actually perceived as valuable by a legal professional. But just take some time and look around, especially if you're just getting into this. We have over 600 hours of archived content, and that's growing at a pretty fast rate. We put out a lot of stuff to make you guys successful. So 95% of the value in this business you get for free. We do take you out of the courthouse and take you out of your direct mail campaigns and automate the parts that aren't really dollar productive for you, and that's how we can function as a company. But everything else we try to lead with value like we teach you to. So just be sure you take a look around and kind of get a feel for everything we can do to support you.
Great. Thank you so
much. All right, Walter. Thank you, sir. You'll be getting a call within the hour. Next up is phone number ending in 7770. You're up next.
Hi, I've got a woman in Richmond, Virginia that needs some help. She's selling her home and needs an immediate sale, and I want to find somebody that can help her, give her some options and stuff. I think this is a perfect forum for it. What do you think?
Sure. I happen to know somebody on the call from Virginia.
Perfect. I'd love to hear.
Chad.
So I'm an investor and an agent in Virginia. Richmond's about 3.5 hours from me. But I do have investors and realtors that would be happy to take the referral. If you want to email me, it's chad@alltheleads.com.
Okay, great. I'll do that right now. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. Well, now we're down to 3 people in the queue. Couple of you must have gotten pressing calls and dropped out. We do have room for more. Just hit *6 and hit pound. There we go. They're all coming back. Next up is phone number ending in 5999. You're up next. Bill, are you there? 5999. Unmute yourself. There you go. You there now, Bill? I guess not. You can hear me, right, Craig? Right, Chad?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, well, Bill, unfortunately, you're muted out, so just hit *6 and hit 1. We'll have to put you down to the bottom of the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 2455. You're up next.
This is Anthony. I'm just on your website. Hi, how you guys doing this morning?
Great.
I'm on your website, training events, and I don't see a Probate Mastery class scheduled for the month of August yet. Can you tell me, Chad, when that is scheduled or will be scheduled?
It's happening right now. We had, thanks to GoToWebinar's glitch, you only missed one session. So we did session 1 on Tuesday. Yesterday we had to sit out because their systems were down. And today I have to have a hard stop at 2 o'clock for this call. So if you want to sign up, if you're on the Probate Mastery page, I'll make sure you get the session 1 recording, and you can join us live for session 2 today and 3 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.
And that's, oh man, you got me really in. I took time off of my schedule today to be on this call, so I'm really going to have to wait, I guess, till there's not another one at the end of the month, because I thought it was going to be.
Well, everything's video recorded. We're in real estate. I could never pick a time that worked for everybody. So we video record every single thing we do. Okay. So if you sign up now, if you can, you can come live today, or you can get the recording as soon as we finish the session, usually within the hour. I process the recording and email it out to you. And what the offer that I extend to everybody, I get that you can't always be there. So you have to watch.
You're breaking up on me.
What I was saying is, if you're in a position where you have to watch the recording and you have questions after that, you can get on my calendar and we'll work together one-on-one to make sure you got everything you came for.
Okay. All right. So your next live sessions have not been scheduled yet for September, etc. I would take.
They have not. It's likely late September.
All right. Okay. Thank you much, sir.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The queue is just bursting with people. I love it. I'm not even having to beg today. Next up is phone number ending in 5952. You're up next.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Chad. This is Soji. Yeah.
Hey there, Soji. What's up?
Hi, Chad. You said I should call you. We wanted to talk one-on-one about the private coaching, and I called and I, emailed you. I didn't get a call back.
I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry?
I said I don't know what to say, but other than sorry, there's one. Me and many of you guys. I'll email you a link to my calendar, Soji, so you can get it scheduled in. I'm kind of at a point now, if it's not on the calendar, it's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, and Soji, the second time you called, I asked Darcy to send you a Calendly link for Chad, so you could just go in there and schedule it. Did you get that?
No, I think she called me late yesterday. I can call her back maybe today and have her, link to Chad. Okay.
Yeah, I know she sent you. She sent you an email. You can just jump in there and schedule a time.
Okay, for Chad's calendar, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'll send it to you right now so it's on top of your inbox.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I really want to discuss that with you. Okay?
Sure.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Next up is a familiar name. David Pannell, you're up next.
This question is for the masters of all the leads. I'm working on a marketing piece for the probate stuff that it's going to serve as an impression setter. So as soon as we get the leads from you guys, I know that we should send just a letter out, but it works with my expired stuff and for sale by owner stuff. So we're going to send like a 30-page brochure of all the things we could do. Is there anything that you guys would tell me that needs to be in there other than what's in the USP?
Have you seen the graphic, the wheel, like the service hub graphic, David?
Yeah.
So that's a good piece because it helps people kind of digest everything that you offer. It helps them understand you're in the middle and you can bring all that to the table. That's a really good thing that will help them. I would also, bullet point scenarios. So some families we help transition property into rental, reinvest proceeds from the estate, loan money, invest money in our fund to grow the inheritance. Like any of the services, like bullet point some of those out, but word it in such a way that it's like we have helped families do the following, and so they can kind of see themselves in that position where it's not just these are potential options. It's this is what we have helped people do. But try to paint it as a picture that they can see themselves in. Like use language that's where they see themselves working with you would be my suggestion. And it's the reason I like that graphic is it kind of takes something that's very complicated in conversation and gives you an easy graphic, and a graphic that's easy to understand.
Yeah.
And you are very quickly racking up stories. I think it would also be good to have a couple of story pages or testimonial pages and take some of the deals where, the family almost left equity on the table and you stepped up as a broker and, got captured that equity for them, and then throw some stories in there where they just needed a fast solution and you paid them what their equity was worth in a 3-day period, to get them out quickly. But try to, put some stories in because you never know. I mean, they may be a motivated cash seller. They may be a broker, a conventional seller. But I think either way, you have nothing to hide. Like you have the utmost ethics and no matter, even if you did buy a house at 55 cents on the dollar, it's because that was their best solution. And I know that. Mm-hmm. And I think putting that in there will help people understand, okay, there are people who, aren't going to lie to me that if I need out quick, this is someone I can trust because they've also helped people sell for top dollar. And I think the contrast will show well for you.
Nice. Yeah, I'm in a training thing with marketing. I guess you probably heard of it. Story branding.
Yeah.
So we're gonna mix that in with all this stuff. So we're gonna tell stories of the solution, the problem, and the results. And then obviously that's going to lead into videos in the future.
Yes, sir. That's where I was headed.
So.
You knew. Yeah. I mean, capture anything you can capture from those clients. I have videos of actually my very first probate deal. The lady, the seller broke down in tears making a YouTube video. And the buyers were like, they called my business a godsend, that they never dreamt they could ever own a home. And I stepped up and showed them how when everyone else was telling them they couldn't. And like, those are just priceless. Like that's the best currency in this business. But yeah. And what I would suggest is get up a kind of a David Pannell fan page, like set up a probate testimonial page and maybe even on a blog, where each one of them is posted with the story in writing and the video embedded above it on your blog, and then have a tag like testimonials, and then that can, that'll roll them all up into one link. And then you could buy a URL like, FortWorthProbateStories.com, and then point that to the category page that holds all those testimonials. And then that way you can put something really simple on a postcard or in one part of your marketing package and say, if you'd like to hear what others have to say, go to fortworthprobatestories.com, and then they can sit there and binge watch, all of them.
Yeah. Or drip campaigns. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spam
David, I'm not going to let
you give it.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you escape that. You always come on these calls and you're so humble, but I heard a rumor that in the last week or so you had a 4-deal day. Is that right, or did I hear wrong? Yeah.
No.
Tell us about that real quick if you got time.
So we're putting people, the way that we're prospecting these folks is if it's a yes, no, maybe. So if it's a yes, they have a house to sell right away or within the next 5 months. If it's a no, we're moving them into an archive folder, delete. They don't have anything to sell right now, but they're still good contact information. So we're keeping the data. And then maybe, so 2 of them were right away. They were going to sell. We went and got, one guy had sold the family's house already, but he wanted to sell his personal home. But we bought it for probably 60% off value in Plano, Texas. It was a great deal. And another one we got for like 30 grand. It's crazy. And then we listed 2 properties last week for the probate leads. So it was a very good week in probate stuff last week.
So
yeah, I would say so.
2 retail.
And we got 2 more appointments on Saturday to look at houses, 2 more houses to buy them.
Awesome. Well, that's
so it's
great.
a really good process, and
yeah,
it's been really good, y'all's marketing. And man, I did not get on all the role play calls, and I think that has excelled our team. We're actually writing all the role play calls out, and it's helping us tremendously on verbiage and communication.
Well, that's great. Congratulations. Yeah,
I hate scripts. David is just scripting everything we say and won't give him.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Keep coming back and sharing those. And I always have to drag it out of you because you're so humble about it. But congrats, you are killing it. And I think most of the people on the call have heard you tell your story, but you did absolutely nothing for 4 or 5 months, and then you got serious. And
yeah.
You probably do a better job of lead follow-up and pulling deals out of old leads of anybody we've ever had. So keep it up.
It's all about
Keep
the CRM.
back.
So if people are listening, it's about putting people in a database and having some kind of background noise, or you give them a market update, or some kind of task management, and they will come around.
Yep.
So David, I'm curious, what's the revenue number on those 4 deals for the week?
Oh, geez. Close to probably 70 or 80. Enough to buy some more leads from you guys.
That's not bad. You can probably afford at least one more county.
Yeah, one more county. We still getting that 40% off? No, just kidding.
Yeah, don't say that on a call. We'll be in big trouble. That's below cost. Hey, thanks as always, buddy.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, man. We got a full queue. Moving on to phone number ending in 0625. You're up next.
Hey, this is Theodore. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. I have actually 3 questions. Do you allow more than one?
Yes, up to 3, but not 4.
Oh, great. Okay.
I'm just kidding. You ask as many as you want. Go ahead. Fire away.
Okay. Well, actually, I have 91, but no, just kidding.
We limited it to 3 in that case.
That's fine. First question quick is, I think I already know the answer, but I gather you, I'm not yet a subscriber, but for subscribers, you provide the content for all your different sales promotional literature. You have examples, and then we can tweak it to where personalize it or customize it, or how does that work?
More than examples, we have proven letters and marketing pieces. So anything that doesn't work gets called out. And so what's there has been producing. So yes, we have an online editor. You can come in, set up the letters you're comfortable with, click a button, and we'll completely automate.
Okay, that's what I thought. Outstanding, great. My next question is, what are the best jurisdictions, state, county, city, of the bar associations, legal associations, would you recommend joining and doing promoting in? And what's the approximate cost or something like that? Is $500 a year? What is that? If you want to promote, if you want to go through attorneys as much as possible.
I mean, obviously you want to join it in whatever geographic area you're.
Yeah, ultimately I'd like to join the State Bar Association. What is that? The associate membership they call it, or affiliate, or?
Affiliate membership, it's usually around $325 in most states. And there are a couple of states that won't let you join. They don't have affiliate bar, but most do.
Okay, great. How about California and Florida?
I know in Florida you can. I know in Southern California people have been declined, but in Northern California people have been accepted.
Interesting. Okay.
So even though it's a state, it's the state bar, I think the groups are chapters, and some chapters just don't accept affiliates from what I hear.
Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of ways around that because I know a lot of attorneys are social animals. Okay. Question 3
just so you understand, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of new to us. We teach kind of a two-pronged approach here. So you want to very quickly get your marketing out the door. So you're marketing directly to the personal representative. The other part of what we teach is how to build your referral network with probate attorneys, family law attorneys, estate planning attorneys, registered investment advisors, nursing home employees, senior moving companies.
Right.
All these people that are helping folks through that transitional period in life. So when real estate becomes part of the conversation, you're the direct referral. So we provide a lot of resources for you on our blog and on these calls and on role play calls to help you build that network. It's also something that we unpack in Probate Mastery, which is our kind of top level training that we do once a month.
Mastery. I'm taking notes.
So beyond the scope of just attorneys, like more importantly, we teach you to build a referral network, and attorneys are just one piece of that.
Right. Right. Very good. My next question is, from a financial point of view for a new subscriber, I don't know how long it would take to start generating some deals. I would imagine even one decent deal would provide you plenty of capital to reinvest into the services of all the leads. But my question is, starting out, what's kind of a minimum monthly cost for a subscriber in order to get a good takeoff so that they can just pour more money back into things? No, I remember a figure of like from $200 to $1,700 a month that are there. Is that an all-inclusive, or is that just sort of a starting point?
No, so you're going to have like subscription to our system includes your leads, your letters, your marketing automation, the software, the phone numbers, the email addresses, the training, this call, our role play calls, lots of different things we roll into that. Beyond that, you're going to have
$200 you get somebody well started then.
Well, hold on. So if you're sending direct mail through us, there's obviously a cost for each of your mail pieces. So it's $1.50 per letter and a greeting card envelope with a live first-class stamp. If you do a website, we'll build you a custom WordPress site for $200, $40 a month. So, I mean, like to answer your question, $500 a month will cover for, I mean, it obviously depends on your county, but at a minimum level, like $500 should cover your leads and mail. That will get you your first deal. Now, something else like how long it takes you to get that first deal is largely dependent on how clear you are on your offer.
Work ethic and skill, huh?
Yeah. That's right. And if you're just going at this as I'm a realtor or I'm an investor and I can do this, you'll probably fall on your ass and say it doesn't work. But if you follow what we teach and you go to it as, this is Theodore, I've built a team of experts here locally to help families going through probate, it sounds a lot different and you get into a lot more conversations. So the cash conversion cycle for somebody who tries to reinvent the wheel is 6 months to never. The cash conversion cycle for people who use the system is anywhere from a week to 3 months where you're putting checks in the bank.
Okay, very good. I've listened to your role play calls, and I think it's a real smart type of marketing because it is so different from the classic salesman. It's just he sort of is a blunt frontal attack like that. So, okay. Yeah, answer my questions very well. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. You remind me, one of my first mentors in real estate used to tell me, figure out what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. And that's kind of what you're right. It's not the way most salespeople approach it. They kind of go for the juggler, and it's the worst way to work probate. You know, it may work for people with FSBOs and expireds because you got to get in there before the 100 other people that are calling them. But this is a whole different ball game, and you know, time to take it in the slow roll. The slow approach works way better with probate and provide that value. Let them.
It really seems like a good example of a way of a blue ocean strategy. I think you got your own blue ocean that you're franchising to us.
I'm laughing because my partner Chad has pretty much memorized that book. That's his Bible, business Bible, business Bible. Yeah.
Great concept.
Go ahead, Chad. Give a plug for Blue Ocean. We got 4 more in the queue.
Yeah, if you guys haven't read it, the book we're talking about is Blue Ocean Strategy. Kat will link to it in the call notes on this call. But essentially what he's talking about, anytime you can raise value and lower cost, that overlap area is known as value innovation. And that's what we're teaching here. That's what this discussion is about. Like if we can show people how to keep more equity, make more money, lower the cost of selling, reduce the stress in probate, and we can make a living doing that, and we don't have any competitors. It's not a red ocean of competition. We're in a blue ocean, and we create the marketplace we serve. And that's kind of the concept this business is built on. So
funny you mentioned that on the podcast I listened to this morning also. So yeah, it's a recurring theme. Yeah, and it works. Awesome. Well, guys, we're down to 4 in the queue. We probably have room for a couple more. So don't be shy. Hit *6 and then hit 1. Next up is a very familiar name. Erik, you're up next.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Can hear you great. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So I wanted to follow up with a call that I had to do with you guys 2 weeks ago about an appointment that I was getting ready to go on. The scenario was the personal representative had been strung along for about 4 months waiting to get a court date to present this offer. Presented the offer, investor disappeared, the guy was left standing, totally exposed, didn't know what to do. Called me and one other investor out. I went out and looked at the property. Shortly after getting off the call with you guys, gave him a net sheet, went over the benefits, how we can help, how quick we can make this go away. He told me that pretty much it's still going to have to go back for court approval, and since it was a lower offer, it was definitely going to need court approval. What ended up happening with that meeting is we had another wholesaler. We had planned on actually closing the deal and renovating the property, but we had another wholesaler outbid us by $10,000. The seller personal representative flat out told us what the other offer was, and I said, listen, I know these guys, you're going to end up in the same kind of scenario. I'm not trying to denounce anybody, but if they can't sell this thing, you guys are going to go right back into the same situation. Personal representative ends up calling me 4 days later and says, hey, here's what's going on. I spoke to the other buyers. I told them where your offer was at. They immediately took their offer down $9,000, so they outbid me by $1,000 now. And I'm like, does any part of that just seem shady to you whatsoever, that, these guys are continuing to string you along, and now they outbid me by a measly $1,000, and he's going to present this back to the courts. They still have all these contingencies there, and I'm like, I just simply don't understand. Why is it that, you're choosing to go down this path? And he's like, my obligation is to be a fiduciary to the estate. I have to go with what is best for the estate. And I says, well, define what do you mean by best. Is that price-wise? Is that aggravation? What do you mean by best? And he says, well, they're willing to pay more. And I says, but only by $1,000. And if you haven't seen that they adjusted their offer $9,000 less than my offer was, doesn't it kind of tell you what's coming your way? And I'm standing here with my mouth dropped to the floor saying, this guy's going to get jerked around for another 3 months because somebody's thinking that they're going to give him $1,000, and they truly have no intention of closing. And I know that they're going to have to switch the name on the LLC, which is going to have to. I don't know what to do in this situation. It's so frustrating. to stand here.
Whoa.
And
I think I just found the chink in the armor. Slow down. What do you mean they're going to have to switch the name of the LLC?
So they placed vested title to be determined prior to closing, and I said, that tells you right there that they plan on finding another buyer to switch names, which is going to require court approval. And he's like, well, my attorney's handling all that, that's, and I said, that makes no sense. You're going to go through all this aggravation and effort to get this thing approved, and these guys aren't going to be able to perform because if they do bring in another buyer and they can't switch it, they're dead in the water. And it's so frustrating. I'm getting outbid by $1,000 for people who I just know can't perform. I'm floored by that.
Chad, I have an answer, but go ahead. I know you probably have one, but I have a question. You want to go first, Chad? Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to get clear on that. I think there was a possible opening. So if he has to open the contract, like in order to switch the entity, they're going to have to amend the purchase agreement. It sounds like.
Correct. Correct.
If that's the way it's written. And this is where you're the ethical line is you're right up against it, but you have to, if you really believe they're not going to close, then when that contract opens, if he doesn't sign the amendment and they don't close, then he knows you have it back. So the ethical thing to do is make sure he understands that and let this play out on its own. You don't want to be influencing that because that's not going to show well on you. What's that?
Okay. That ain't what I wanted to hear, just because I can see another 3 months going by where this guy's going to get jerked around and then he's going to come back to me and say, you know what, you're up. You're the last guy standing, you're up. And I'm like, all this over $1,000 difference.
Well, the other answer
Erik,
is you take your emotional response, you step over that ethical line, and you go drag your competitor through the mud. And you don't want anyone doing that to you 3 months down the road, so I'm not suggesting you do it today.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not that guy.
Right.
Yeah, Erik, I was going to ask if the court wasn't involved. I was going to ask you, which they are, so it does need court approval. But my guess is the guy probably has a very small good faith deposit up. How much did he put down? Do you know?
$500. $500.
Exactly. When I was buying and selling 3 to 5 homes a month, I used to, the best way to answer an objection is before it ever comes up and to handle a situation before it becomes a problem. I used to warn them about one of the big national franchise companies that would come in with $100 down, and if they couldn't flip the house before closing, they'd just walk away from the money. So I would say to them, and I don't know if this is unethical in a court situation, Chad, but say to them, if you want to find out how serious they are, ask them to make that a $5,000 non-refundable deposit. Because I'm willing to do that if you sign the contract or whatever your risk.
We put up 10%, so 16.5 on a buy for 165 grand. We'll put up 13.5. And
but the challenge you have there, you already have a ratified purchase agreement. So they've until the contract opens, there's nothing you can do here.
Yeah.
So I know you don't like my answer, but what my suggestion is, these things usually play out the way you think they're going to. My suggestion is today or as soon as possible, write a backup offer with your 10% earnest money deposit, hand deliver it to him and say, if you sign this and you close, then this agreement is null and void. If you sign this and they don't close, I've got your back and we'll close quickly. And to me, that's the best thing you can do without stepping over that line.
That's the foot that I've been trying to put forward, is just to let them know that, unfortunately, we still have to deal with this several months down the road. I'll still be here to help out, but it's so very frustrating because I'm all about, I'm not about, ruining anybody's name, but I will definitely let them know that, hey, I've seen these people before. They truly have no intention on closing. I just don't want to see you go for a wild ride, but I'm not going to bash anybody. But no, I do agree that is the best route, is to, just be there when the guy's ready and go dig up more deals, build a better pipeline.
But I want to underscore, let me underscore, you need to secure your position with a backup offer. So
He has
make
that.
it.
He has that.
With all the terms and price?
Correct, yes. Yep, I'll close as soon as the bank or as the court needs me to. It's going right into my company name. We're not going to switch anything. 10% earnest money, no contingencies whatsoever. We are ready to close the moment we get court approval and clear title. He already has that in hand. I took it on the appointment with me.
Good on you. Like that's really good. But it sounds like he hasn't signed it.
Well, he hasn't signed either one of them because he needs court approval on it. He said he's gonna take both to the attorney, have them present them to the court, and find out which one is in their best favor. And he says it totally comes down to price from what he understands.
Well, that changes things. So you're saying that the other investor offer is not ratified? Like he has not signed as the seller?
The personal representative has not signed either of them. He's handed them over to the attorney who's going to present them to the courts. He has not signed either one of them at this point.
Well,
neither of them.
Then I changed my answer. So he doesn't have a contractual agreement with anyone. Like you,
correct.
If I were you, can you back up your opinion with other deals? Like, can you show proof that of that negative reputation?
I can show him that escrows have been opened and released, and I mean, I don't know if I can give him the names of other sellers that we bought properties from that have been through the same scenario. I mean, I could probably dig up a few names and phone numbers to say, hey, call these people and find out what their experience is with what's his name.
Is there any personal property on the property?
Yeah, there's an old classic. Yeah, there's a classic car in the garage, and then like a enclosed trailer. Nothing of major value.
Can we come up with
$1,000?
Yeah,
there's some personal contents out there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, $1,500, $2,000. I don't know, a couple grand at the most.
What if you present your offer in such a way that, you know what, I'll clean the property out. You guys don't have to do a thing. I'll come up $1,000 because I know I'm going to close and I know this is in your best interest. Just leave everything there. And then you can make up your $1,000 by finding a guy who knows how to properly disposition that classic car.
By just adding those to the purchase agreement, you're saying, and then just saying we'll take care of it?
Just add the personal property in under additional terms. The purchaser and seller agree. And then I think you can extract $1,000 out of the personal property. So beat him in his own damn game. One up him, go $1,001 and make it include the personal property, or go $1,500, whatever, and find a way to extract the value out of that personal property. But if that contract is ratified,
brilliant. I like
and
that.
Erik, at the same time, go back and what I said before. Now, hey, I've matched his offer. He's got a $500 deposit. I'm willing to put up $16,000. Who do you think's more likely to close?
I've told him. I mean, I've communicated what I've felt. I've said that several times, and he is standing on the leg that I have a fiduciary responsibility. And I'm like, for $1,000, that's never going to happen. I'm like, I just don't understand it.
No, but if you match the price, then he would almost have a fiduciary responsibility to you to go with the most likely to close, and a big deposit versus a small one. It seems like he'd have to recommend you, all else being equal.
Well, my true max was 160. I went up to 165 because I had a general idea that other offers were going to be hovering around the 175 mark. So, like, even at 165, like, I don't want to say working for peanuts, but it's at the absolute threshold of where it's not my strike price, but I just want to get this deal done. It's in a great neighborhood. I think we could do more future business just by having a name in there and renovating it and adding some value. So I love Chad's idea. I am going to see if that will help us get it done. And I guess even if it does sound more of a value for him, it's still got to go through court approval either way. So I'm still in the waiting.
I have one. There's one more opportunity for a value add here. So what's your disposition strategy? A flip?
Yes, we're going to renovate it and resell it retail.
Are you using your own money?
We are not. No.
Are you using long-term money or short-term money?
Less than a year. 1 year funds.
All right. What I was going to suggest is you can make up, like on deal, there's always a deal to be made. So if you have to raise your offer $1,500 and he won't give you the personal property, if you're able to get that under long-term financing, or if you're able to use your cash, I mean, then you could sell it with owner financing, and typically it's price or terms, pick one. So you wouldn't get beat up on price. You could sell it at a premium, and then just do a 2-year or 5-year call on the note, and then that way you could make a lot more profit long term. But you've got to get into a position where you're the first position if you're going to do that. So if you have operating capital of your own to step up, you could polish this and actually make it an even better deal. It's just going to take you a couple years to cash out. However, your tax, it's going to be favorable from a tax standpoint, and it's going to, you'll get a much higher overall return on the property.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not in a position to do that at this point. And the real value from my perspective is the presence in the neighborhood. It's a very prestigious area. We would, we'd like to be known a little bit more there. So we're hoping to add some value to the neighborhood, and neighbors see that and maybe pull out some more deals. But I'm not in a position to pull up our own capital at this point. We've got too much deployed.
You're competitive as hell, aren't you?
I don't like it at times, Chad. I don't like it at times.
I hear you don't want to lose, and it's not so much about the profit on this deal. It's about the longer term vision of we want to name in that neighborhood, and we don't want to be beat out there right now.
Absolutely.
So your other play is to bring in another investor who is well capitalized and just JV with them on this deal. You'll probably end up making the same money, and they'll make some. But like instead of using the funding source you're thinking about right now, replace your funding source. Bring in a partner, do it as an owner financed flip, and you guys, you're going to get more money out of the deal, guaranteed. You can do it as a lease option, you can do it as a land contract, you can structure it in different ways, but you will ultimately net a lot more money doing it that way, and you won't be hit as hard on taxes this year. So if you really want to win, you can blow these guys out of the water. They're never going to be able to compete with, like, if you can raise your offer, because your disposition strategy is going to yield a much higher profit than theirs. So you can win, you can get your flag in the sand in the neighborhood, and you can make another investor some money, which will probably yield, referrals in the future from him when he's stuck. So if you know a guy in town that is well capitalized and understands creative financing, that's another play for you.
Okay. Yeah, I will put my head out there and see who I can potentially bring into that. Anything I should be cautious as far as like rewriting that deal and structuring it just so we don't get it approved, and making sure that our JV partner is okay with title? Like, is there anything that we should precautionary do up front? Other than just knowing what entity we're just knowing what entity we're closing in.
Yeah, two ways you can do this depending on what kind of relationship you have with your partner. If they have an entity and you have an entity, you guys can sign a joint venture agreement between the two entities, and it doesn't even have to be mentioned in the contract. You just choose which one it closes in. Okay. The other thing you can do that especially if this is a new relationship, you just form a new LLC underneath, maybe not even underneath, just form a new LLC where he holds 50% of the shares and you hold 50%, or your company holds 50% of the shares, and that becomes the entity on the purchase agreement. That way you both have equal control in selling the asset and equal liabilities, in holding the asset. So that way you guys can be more comfortable that way. If it's an existing relationship and you've done deals, a JV can be fine. Otherwise, I would spend $100 and set up an LLC.
I like the idea.
And Erik, I apologize for cutting you off. We have 3 more in the queue, and I know Chad's got to leave or a few minutes before the hour. But if you want to discuss this further, just reach out to us off the call, and we can. Chad will always be glad to hear. We appreciate you coming. You always bring some interesting material, and you're very consistent. So thank you. And if you want to carry this on after Mastery, just let us know.
Thank you, fellas.
All right. Thank you, Erik. Next up is phone number ending in 7079. You're up next.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel. I'm just for the first time here with you guys today, and I'm getting some valuable information. I was listening to your last call, and I want to know how can we continue to get contact with you as far as getting more involved with your.
Yep. You'd like one of our salespeople to call you after the call?
Sure, would like to, so I can talk to them.
All right.
See if we can get set up.
It'll probably be, you'll be second in line today, or I'll give you to a different salesperson. But yeah, we'll give you at the 7079 number, correct?
That's correct.
You got it. We'll call you right after the call. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Next up is phone number ending in 2127. You're up next.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jesse. I'm not a member. I'm going to sign up for your class in September, so I heard end of September. But I had a quick question. I've been listening to your program quite a bit. I've looked at several ways to look up properties, just properties in general. Does your all the leads offer to look up property, just a regular property, or do you know what I'm saying? I've looked up Propstream and all these other businesses. But
sure.
I was wondering what you suggest.
So
Does that make sense?
Right now we provide a probate system, so it's not a search tool.
Okay.
We are hopefully in September we'll bring to market a product called Probate Plus that basically gives you all that search capability that you're used to, that you're seeing in some of those other systems. We'll be able to scrub tax records in every county in the U.S. And find the real estate that was owned by the personal representative, as long as we can tie that back to their last known mailing address. So that's just a simple, so we have the probate data we provide now. You can simply click a button and it will run the data augmentation. So you won't be able to do that for an absentee list or a certain address, but the probate data that we provide you in your system, we can augment and bring all that information back with it. It'll already be there. You don't have to do it on a one-to-one. So if you can buy just probate, or you can buy Probate Plus. And Probate Plus is, we'll give you a full property report on everything that they own. What we're finding is, even though the properties might not even be in probate. For instance, if John Doe passes away and he owned property in a living trust or in a different entity that had proper title, so it didn't have to be in probate, as long as we're tying the real estate back to that tax mailing address, we'll still know about that real estate. So it will just be for probate data at this point. We're moving in the direction of what you're discussing. We just want to make sure we're building a blue ocean, as we talked about earlier, not doing what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
All right.
Is there? I know you can't probably put anything out there, but is there a service that you suggest to look for that, other than county records recorder? Or?
I think it depends on what you're trying to do, a one-to-one lookup.
I think we lost him. I don't know if it was his phone or ours, but we lost him in the queue.
So for one-to-one lookups, Propstream is an amazing tool if you have access to it. The other one that you might look at is CoreLogic has a tool called, I believe it's called RealQuest. RealQuest from CoreLogic or Propstream by Equimine are both really, really amazing systems that have good databases.
Excellent. Chad, I know you have 2 minutes left. If you need to bail, our last caller is phone number 1740. Is it a quick call, James, or?
Quick. Very
All right,
quick.
fire
Chad,
away.
Chad, I appreciate you, man, handling these objections and being a source and adding value. I'm listening in on the call, but a couple of weeks ago I talked to you about a personal representative, the mother, older lady, the daughter's kind of in charge of everything. Just to bring you up to speed, I spoke with her, the youngest daughter. The youngest daughter said, no, we're not going to do anything, we're not going to sell. So I'll try to add value by throwing her a couple extra dollars as an incentive if she sells. How can I, this is a probate deal, how can I give the heirs what they want in addition to paying her a couple $1,000s if she decides to move forward with my company?
I feel like I missed something. So they're saying they don't want to sell?
Well, when I finally got a hold of her, because I've been calling, finally got her over the phone, and she said that she wasn't going to sell. And so I made her another proposition, and I offered additional amount of money. that would not tie into what the heirs would get.
So she wants a bribe to be willing to sell.
You're talking about cutting a side deal with her?
Now you make me. I don't know. This is my first probate deal. I'm going to get off this phone right now.
That's why fidelity bonds exist, because that's a personal representative taking advantage of an estate, and that's illegal.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, James. You run the other direction. It's just not worth it for one deal.
Okay, I didn't know. It was first probate deal that I would ever do.
Well, the good thing is you ask rather than jump out and do the wrong thing, so not a problem. And Chad, I know you got to go. If you want to talk about this some more off the call, James, just call back on our direct number, and I'll be glad to discuss it with you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Sorry, we had to cut it off right. Yeah, go get him, Chad. For those, we want to make sure any of you taking Mastery can get off the call in time, and Chad's going to jump on it. It starts in 3 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Great attendance, great participation, great stories. I'm going to have a hard time get with my partners and decide the win of the week. We had a few to choose from. So, as always, guys, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank, in particular, those who actively participated. And, you know, you heard some great ideas, some great stories, some great wins. I want to challenge each of you. Take one idea, one story, one thing you heard that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and come back next Thursday and share your results with the group. Thank you so much, guys. Make it a great week, and we will talk to you same time next Thursday. Take care.